Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Search Podcast. I'm Elliot Manning. This week, I'm recording, I was about to say filming, but I'm filming as well, from New York City. And I've got a special guest on with me today, someone that is in a really unbelievable business. And I'll let Carly tell you a little bit more about who she is and where she works.
Sure. My name is Carly Mednick. I am a partner and founder at Monday Talent. We are an executive search firm and we specialize in recruiting for marketing, communications, and creative. We are all across the US. I am New York based, but we cover all markets nationwide.
Brilliant, brilliant. So the business has been going now since end of summer last year, right?
We launched in October of 2020. Yeah. So
Brilliant.
we're just creeping up on our 1-year anniversary.
Amazing. So how many co-founders are there? There's yourself and there's one other, or?
So I have two other co-founders,
Okay.
my partners, Jamie and Jillian. Yeah.
Brilliant. Have you guys worked together before? How do you know each other?
We have, yeah. So the three of us worked together in the past. My first job was with Jamie. When I first joined him, it was just the two of us. And then Jillian joined us a couple of years later. So the three of us have known each other for quite a while now.
So could you paint a picture, tell us a story a bit, kind of like how you guys got together, what happened, were you in were you at a bar, were you out for dinner, were you just on the phone, like you just said to each other, let's just do it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's like your classic story of, we wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
We saw a spot for it and, we were ready just to impact and make a change. We wanted to create an agency that's beyond just recruitment. And that's what we've done at Monday Talent. I think the three of us all have our different strengths and that's why we blend really, really well together as well. And I think, playing to each other's strengths is always so important when you're founding a business.
Were you, any of, three of you, were you worried about kind of how it might work, worried about how it might not work, affect your relationships?
Yeah, I think there's always, something in the back of your head, but I think, the three of us are really like family and we've always been from the beginning. So we knew that our dynamic was great. Of course, we will have situations where we're like brothers and sisters all the time, but I think, we just work so flawlessly together, the three of us, that, there was never any kind of major worry at all.
Brilliant. Fine. So who does what in the business? Do you guys do the same thing? Do you have different roles? Is one more kind of like sales led, operational, led, or finance led?
That's a great question. So the three of us are partners. Jamie is our CEO. And so the three of us, we have similar roles, but at the same time, we always play to our own strengths. So Jamie is, a born networker. He is just, he could talk to absolutely anyone and charm them, with his British charm, as I'm sure, you can as well, Elliot.
Try to.
And then Yeah, and then Jillian is very, very strong on the creative front. So, anything that you see out there, whether it's our website, our social media, we're launching some merchandise soon as well.
Wow.
Jillian, the creative brains behind all of that. And then myself, I'm more of the operationally minded one, keeping the ship running always. So as you can see, we all work differently and that's why it plays together so well.
Brilliant. Fine. You said before that you guys are trying to create something that's a bit more kind of beyond recruitment. Can you share some, information on what that means, like for those listening in? Because I know this, and the guys that work with me at came and noticed like you guys are phenomenal business, and you've really got a different approach and a very attractive offering to not only your clients and candidates, but people that work for you. But what does beyond mean?
Yeah, of course. So we are not transactional at all. We are all about relationship building. Nothing is more important to us. So I'm happy to talk to anyone, as is Jillian and as is Jamie, along with our team as well, regardless of if we have roles for them. And, we really look at the big picture and the long-term picture as well. Those people who have 2 years of experience are the future of the industry. They're going to be the leaders. And, regardless of if we have something, we want to talk, we want to see what's going on. And I think we just really have our fingers on the pulse of the industry as well, which is so important too. I think, we're also deeply committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that's something we pride ourselves on, not just for our own team, but also for the teams that we build. So we're always there as a resource, and we really consider ourselves, as extensions of our clients' teams, rather than, being their client or them being our client. We really feel like we're ingrained with them as well.
Brilliant. Fine. So where are you at now with how big's the business? What's the kind of, I suppose, the presence that you have in the market at the minute?
Yeah, so we're 14 people right now.
Wow.
Beyond our wildest dreams, we've grown extremely, extremely
That's
quickly.
phenomenal growth there. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
which we're very, very proud of. So we're 14 people right now. As I said, never been a better time to be a recruiter. And we're really happy to be expanding. We're not expanding just for the sake of it. We're expanding because there's a true need and, there's a true place for it as well. So we love our team. Our team is across the US. We have, a big bulk of our team is definitely in New York. We have a couple people in LA. We have someone in Philadelphia and we have someone in Portland too. So
Yeah.
we definitely have, in a lot of big major markets, which we can cover as well.
So if you've got a growth model and a growth plan to kind of have a spread of people across the US, or if you've got hubs that you want people to be in, you're going to have offices or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. The plan is for us to have offices. I think, we're kind of reacting to the world right now, so we're all remote right now. The hope is that we won't be remote for much longer, but, again, we're going to go back when it's safe to. And again, I think our growth plans are based on the market. I think we definitely have plans on where we would like to hire a team.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're not just going to hire someone in one location just to say we have someone in a location. We want to hire people that, want to work with us and that, we see real potential in as well.
So, look, 14 people, you've got spread across the US, really kind of, I suppose, a brilliant plan in place of how you want to get to where you want to get to. But, what's beyond that, in terms of, where do you see the business in 2022, 2023, when, hopefully this pandemic is a little bit more settled, and your business is thriving. So what's happening next?
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit in terms of Monday Talent. I think, this was beyond our wildest dreams, but we're not stopping anytime soon. So, I could see us definitely being, 30, 40 people by then. And again, expanding into different markets as well. Creative marketing, communications, PR is at the heart of all we do. But that's not to say that there isn't a market for us to expand elsewhere too. So I guess you'll have to stay tuned and see where Monday Talent.
It's exciting times, exciting times. So I want to find out, where did this come from you? You was in recruitment before at a firm for like 4 or 5 years, had a really good stint, a big billing background, really strong in the market. But where did this entrepreneurial kind of personality come from? Did you always have it? Did it just come around, or?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, actually. Funny enough, I studied entrepreneurship in college, so I think
Brilliant.
it came
That
from
helps.
that. Yeah, it was something that I kind of fell into, as a minor, but something I was excited by. And so I always knew that I wanted to do something on my own, whatever it was. And, my family definitely has a history of being entrepreneurs. My father was an entrepreneur. So, I definitely have a lot of him in me, and I'm always, consulting him for advice constantly as well, going to him, asking him, his advice. And I really look up to him a ton. So I think that's kind of where it came from. I have a similar kind of business kind of mindset as my dad. And that's where it comes from. So it's great to have him to consult all the time too.
That's just, for a lot of people, myself included, that's really helpful and something that, pushes a lot of us. Is there anything that you've gone to learn more? Is there any courses you've undertaken, anything about recruitment management, business management, or anything that you've read that potentially could help other people looking to do the same thing?
Yeah, we have done a lot of recruitment training. Actually, we have an external advisor that we've used in the past, who's absolutely lovely. And she has helped me, I would say, immensely. Her name is Denise. And she just really knows the ins and outs of recruitment and sales, business development. And having her as a resource is just absolutely unbelievable. And I think, I would say she's definitely helped me a ton. She's someone that I met maybe when I was working in recruitment for, 3.5 years or so. And she just, at that point I was like, what else is there for me to learn? And she just was able to just make me think outside of the box, make me think creatively as well.
Fantastic. So for those listening, and looking to, they're in New York or wherever in the US, I suppose, and potentially looking to understand a bit more about your business, what kind of person do you want to employ? Who do you want to work for you? What kind of, I suppose, culture do you have?
Yeah, I think that's another really good question. I think, we love people who are super ambitious, those who are not afraid to throw their hat into the ring. We want people who want to do
Yeah.
things, even outside recruitment. We love playing to people's strengths. So if people love writing, we have a blog, we want to get people involved in things that they want to do. So I really love someone who's a go-getter, someone who's ambitious, someone who is outgoing, and someone who's super eager to learn as well.
Yeah.
I think those are definitely, characteristics that I look for when I speak to someone, and someone who doesn't want to stop, someone who wants to keep going as well.
How do you judge that? Obviously there's a lot of people out there, they want that, they can, I suppose, tell you that they've got that, and they can, see it, you can see it in their backgrounds, but obviously recruitment is recruitment. There's people out there that do sometimes like to sell themselves in the sense of, what they've achieved as a recruiter, but ultimately, like, you guys seem to be more about, the personality and the culture as opposed to just, how much have you built?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And I think, we really act as a family at Monday Talent. So I think for us, it's so important that people are going to get along. We are so collaborative. And I think that's why we've built the model that we have. Collaboration is so, so key for us. So, we really look for others who want to be team players, who, again, want to roll up their sleeves and get involved. And I think another huge thing is, those who are as committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion as we are. It's so important to us to have our team be diverse, and not just by color, but by different mindsets, different backgrounds. It's so important, and there's so much that we can learn from each other when we do that as well.
Fantastic. No, thank you for that, Carly. So I'm curious to know as well, you guys having this spread across the US, there's businesses out there that have been in this pandemic and have got business models that they want to, I suppose, build in the same way. How do you guys collaborate? How do you create and contain and maintain a culture that's, I suppose, spread across the US?
Yeah, so we have tons of Zoom calls throughout the week. We actually have our Monday team meeting and lunch club in a little bit that we naturally do on Mondays. So we do that every Monday.
Yeah.
We have lunch together. For some people, it's breakfast, but we do that every single Monday so that we can all catch up, be together, collaborate. And we make sure that we pretty much, I would say, every day of the week have a meeting so that people can, throw out ideas, whether it's talking about new roles, talking about what roles are, coming down the pipeline in terms of what's about to close, just, spinning new ideas at each other as well, and how to get creative too. I think a big thing that we're really committed to as well is, having everyone be engaged, from afar. So we have virtual happy hours that we do constantly. This week, we actually have a documentary club where we're all watching the same documentary on Netflix. And then we're doing, a half hour together to really talk through the documentary and what we thought as well. So I think these are all great ways for us to get involved with each other, from afar, versus, when we were in an office, we'd be able to just turn over and say, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? But I think, having these set meetings really help us to continue to collaborate and be together virtually.
No, 100%. I agree with you. And I think ultimately that, if you can't communicate with each other 24/7 and have that person next to you, then the only way of moving forward, and some ideas that you've just mentioned that I've never heard of, is to put these big team building exercises together and get everyone involved, and that's I suppose a must in a business like yours. If you're in the business, and you
definitely a must. Yeah.
You want the independence, you want the freedom, and you want to work the way that you work, then all you got to do is get involved. That's it. Because that's what you need.
Exactly. And I think everyone on the team loves getting involved. When we have these happy hours, we're always doing fun activities, playing games. We actually had like a painting one where we all painted the same thing. So I think doing those things helps us learn so much about each other, which is so important too.
Brilliant. No, I love it. Brilliant. So where'd the name come from? How did you come up with the name?
Come from?
Yeah.
So we actually were just, we were thinking through names, and Jillian actually came up with it. So shout out to her. Yeah. We were thinking of, we just loved the name Monday, and we were thinking, your job search starts on Monday. People always say, oh, I'll do that on Monday. I think also Monday usually has a very negative connotation. People say they have the Sunday scaries because they're not looking forward to Monday. And we wanted to change, the stigma around Mondays. We wanted people to get excited about Mondays. Monday is a day to start anew. Monday is a day to start your job search. Like, how exciting is that? On another weird note, Also, all three of us founders were born on a Monday. So then it
Wow.
just stuck when we found that out as
So
well.
it's got
So
more behind it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Do you guys have like a slogan with it as well, like that goes with the company name, or is that not?
We're working on it.
Yeah, it's hard to do that, like really hard.
It is. We've been thinking through it and we're like, we need something that, we love. And we'll get back to you on that one, Elliot. It should be coming
Yeah.
soon.
No, I look forward to it. And it's something I think it took Cayman about 2.5 years to even think about coming up with something that just worked. And I think there
Yeah.
was like 3 or 4 different things before that, and it's not easy.
Agreed.
But Carly, listen, I mean, I've got loads of notes here, some really good information. If anyone is keen to have a chat with you, I'll definitely be putting your details across all the links and all the podcast channels that they can, reach out to you for. But ultimately, look, short and sweet, you've told me so much about the business. Is there any kind of final note out there for anyone that's listening in the States that are potentially open to ideas of new roles?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's such a good time to be looking around, and, you should definitely be just searching. Doesn't mean you have to jump just for the sake of jumping. Have conversations. I always tell people, never hurts to have a conversation. If you decide, whatever it is not for you, at the very least, you could say you had it, and it's great to network as well. So always be networking, is one of the things that I tell people, and I'll always stand by it. I think right now it's never been more important. So
that's what I've said to a lot of people recently, and business owners as well. I've said to them, stop trying to headhunt all the time, because these people that are being headhunted are not just being headhunted by you, but just send them a message.
Oh,
Just say like, just build a relationship. Think of it's the long term rather than the short term. And I think that what you've just said mirrors that massively.
I completely agree. I think it's all about the long term, have those conversations, see what's out there, and you never know when an amazing opportunity can be on your door. So
no, exactly. Carly, listen, you've been fantastic, and it's great to finally actually see you face to face.
Yeah.
Digitally. Look, I think you guys have got an unbelievable business here. So I wish you guys, the very best of luck with everything that you do moving forward.
Thank you, Elliot.
Not that you need it, but I think you've got it. Yeah, I think you've got it all pretty tied up, quite nicely. But thanks for your time, and I'm sure we'll speak very soon.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye, Elliot.